Hello friends and welcome to Fire Emblem Discussion. Today we're going to talk about class growth rates and why they're honestly not that important and why you shouldn't focus on them when picking a class. I'm not saying one class is better than the other. In this instance, I'm merely talking about the growth rates. So take what you will on that front. So first off, we're going to just do an example. We're going to just look at Dimitri here. These are Dimitri's base stats. So when you first get him in the blue line route, these are Dimitri's stats. And these are Dimitri's growth rates. A growth rate is just a numerical value given to each stat for each character. And it goes as a percentage chance that at level up, that character will grow in 1 point in that stat. So essentially, Dimitri with the 55% HP growth has a 55% chance of gaining HP every level up. And the same goes for every single stat he has. Classes have their own set of growth rates that are added, or I guess subtracted in some cases, to or from the base growth rates of a character. So I have a few examples set up here that are like common picks for Dimitri. So Paladin is a good one, is a common pick for Dimitri. It's one that the game kind of pushes a little bit, you know. And then also we have Great Lord, which is his personal master class that only he can use. And these are their growth rate modifiers. So to like apply these numbers, you simply add them to Dimitri's bases. So when base growth. So when Dimitri is a Paladin, he has an 85% chance of gaining HP at level up, or an 85% growth. So because you just take the 55 plus 30, and that's what we get for Dimitri as a Paladin. And you do the same for all the stats. So 60, 10, we get 70, 20. No, there's nothing added, so just 20, 50, and you get the point. 50 minus 10. Because the Paladin has a minus 10, it's 40. So you get the point, right? And, you know, generally, yeah, having a really good growth rates is good. It's not a bad thing to have good growth rates, right? I mean, growth rates are good. They're nice. It's nice to gain stats on level ups. But let's take a look. And this isn't how it actually works in game, because you're not going to be... It's impossible to be in a master class from the beginning of the game. But for the sake of this argument, we're just going to say that's what happens. Because honestly, these would be even closer if I did all the math before, which I did before with a different character, but I don't think it matters right for this. So these stats are the average stats of Dimitri, as if he gained all his levels up to level 40 as a Paladin. And these are as if Dimitri gained all of his levels up to 40 as a Great Lord. As you can see, there isn't much of a difference, especially because some of the stuff is the same with like HP and strength, magic, but we do see some difference in dexterity and speed. And you look at the speed and say, Adam, that is almost a 4-point difference. It should be a 4-point difference. I don't know why the 0.6 and the 0.5. It's a 4-point difference. It's how it rounded up. So it's a 4-point difference, right? 4-point difference. And you're saying, well, that's a lot. When you consider that's only 1 point of speed per level up, and if we were to do these stats again, but at level 20 or at level 30, it would be only a 2-point difference or a 3-point difference. And the end game, the end results aren't all that matters in Fire Emblem. It's fun to have that really awesome beefed up team, but, you know, speed, a separation of speed of 4 points does make a bit of a difference. But earlier in the game, when it's a separation of 1 speed, you know, by the time they're level 10 or 2 speed at 20, that doesn't make as big a difference. So growth rates are important, but they should not dictate which class you pick in most cases. There are some cases where I will say the growth rates are a pretty big deal, such as Falcon Knight with plus 20 speed, because plus 20 speed versus, you know, minus 10 speed of Paladin, that's a big deal. That's a 30-point swing. That's going to be a bigger gap. But as far as for Dimitri goes, he can't become a paladin. I mean, he can't become a falcon knight. So this is a pretty accurate comparison for most of his classes. He could be a wyvern lord too, which I would argue is probably his best class. It's probably the best class for most male fighters. But regardless, that's not what we're here to talk about. Okay, so we talked about growths, right? But that's not what should matter as much. What should matter as much are these numbers right here. To which class you pick. So these numbers, these are before I've added any class added the class modifiers. But if you add the class modifiers to each one, you get these results down here. These results down here, where you have about an 8 or 9 point speed differential. Right, that's insane. It's actually 9 points because Paladin gets -1. So a 9 point differential in speed and similar stuff otherwise, but 9 speed's nothing to sneeze at. That's a big deal. There is a 1 point of defense in the Paladin's favor. There is, and then the res in Paladin's favor and whatnot. So these numbers apply as soon as you change into the class. As soon as you change into a Great Lord for Dimitri, he'll get this +4 speed. Right? He'll get the +4 speed over Paladin. And that's the big difference. That's the kicker. That's the real good stuff, is when a class gives you buffs like these as soon as you change. That's a big deal. And I mean, 4 speed, like that's such a good, that's honestly a really good speed buff. Dimitri really wants that too. It's really good for him. The difference between 30 speed and 21 speed, that's pretty big, right? So when you're deciding which class to go with for a character, don't worry so much about the growth rates, because the growth rates are going to make the difference of at most, between like 2 and 1, 2, 3, or maybe 4 points over the course of 40 level ups, right? But these stat modifiers that every class has, they're just different. They have different numbers that apply to each stat and stuff. These automatic base stat modifiers are the big difference. So again, growth rates are cool, and they can make your character slightly better or maybe even slightly worse in certain areas. But these numbers, these solid for sure numbers, are the good stuff. So you can find all of the growth rate and information stuff on this website. I use it for all of the stuff. This is serenusforest.net. You just go to 3 houses. You can find all the class growth rate changes and all the class stat modifying changes and class change, and then you can find character growth rates under characters and growth rates and everything. And it just has everything laid out real nice, real simple to use and understand. And just if you're wondering, these parentheses means while mounted. So a Wyvern Lord gets +4 strength while mounted, but dismounted they only get +2. There you go. So yeah, that is just kind of my 2 cents on the matter. If you have any more questions about this or have any comments about this, of course leave them in the, where would you put them, comments, and let me know what you think. I want to know what you guys think about growths as far as they affect your units. I want to hear how you decide classes based on stats and stuff like that. And I'm just really interested to hear what you have to say. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do that. It makes my day. Every time the number goes up, I'm like, yes, someone cares. Someone likes it. It just shows me that what I'm doing is not all awful. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like this video as well, and I will catch you next time. Oh, and friends, I totally forgot to mention, I will be streaming tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're playing Fire Emblem 3 Houses, of course. We're playing the Black Eagle route right now, and I'm hoping to make it to what I understand is a route split in the Black Eagles. So make sure to come hang out for that. It's a good time. We have some good conversation. Pretty chill stream. There aren't a ton of us, so I'm able to talk to you guys pretty well, and it is a great time. And maybe even Maggie will join. It's a good good time, you know. So turn on your notifications so you don't miss it. Also, it should just be around 7 p.m. tonight.